Ubisoft's obsession with Assassin's Creed is killing their creativity and other franchises.
Here's a bit of a fun fact. Did you know that currently there are 6 Assassin's Creed games in development?
No, I did not know that. That is actually ridiculous. And it seems like you know how like a lot of sports games are very like copy paste year after year? This is that, but on steroids. Like, I did not actually think that they could copy paste like an action adventure, like hack and slash game. But I am wrong. It is possible to copy paste a game like that, and it's quite sad.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I am looking forward to the upcoming Assassin's Creed Mirage, which does feel like a return to form for Assassin's Creed. That game harkens back to the gameplay and vibes and style of Assassin's.
Bro, like the whole joke with like the whole it's Skyrim, but on this new console it's Skyrim, but on the fridge it's Skyrim, on the smart TV it's Skyrim, on PS4, PS5, PS3, PS6, so on and so forth like that. But they have literally just taken Assassin's Creed and just done all of that and like concentrated it into modern platforms. Or I don't know how many platforms they're gonna release it on. Probably like your standard like Xbox, PlayStation, PC, or whatever. But god dang.
Creed 1 back in the good old days when Assassin's Creed was about, assassinating rather than about leveling up and all of these RPG elements and being more of a warrior, that for me just doesn't feel like the Assassin's Creed that I fell in love with. But Mirage.
Same. Very true. Gone. Well, actually, to be fair, since they started doing that whole like level up looting system with numbers, like white, green, blue, purple, yellow, so on and so forth type Assassin's Creed, I haven't played a single one of those, to be honest. So I think the last Assassin's Creed I played was 4, the one with like the Native American dude, and then before that I played Black Flag, but I played Black Flag like multiple times because it was that good. Yeah.
Mirage is one of many, and for any IP, 6 games in development, it's just a lot of games. And it's already felt like Assassin's Creed's cadence of game releases.
So it seems safe to say that we're probably not going to be getting new Splinter Cell anytime soon. Got it.
This was a bit much, where it made the series lose its luster because there's just so much content that was continuously factory churned out. But now we're getting word that Ubisoft is doubling down even more on Assassin's Creed, because it is essentially one of their big flagship IPs, and it is making them money. The 6 Assassin's Creed games that are currently in development include Mirage, then there is codename Red and Hex, followed by a standalone multiplayer game called Assassin's Creed Invictus.
Oh, okay, that's kind of interesting if they kept it. Well, I don't know. Like, I liked the old Assassin's Creed multiplayers. And they're probably gonna make this like a stupid live service bullshit thing. If I'm just gonna take a guess, with like it's free to play, battle passes, pay for cosmetics and microtransactions and so on and so forth. So, like I was a fan of the old multiplayer of like trying to blend in. It was like a free for all more or less, and you had like counters to abilities and stuff like that, and you could like combo all your stuff, and it was really cool. I never got like super into it, but I thought it was fun. So this is kind of cool, but how they implement it is gonna be a whole new thing.
And 2 mobile games. One is a mysterious collaboration with Netflix, and the other is codename Jade. It's not just the quantity of Assassin's Creed games in development and releases that indicates Ubisoft's intention to lean very heavily on this franchise. There's also the fact that back in May of 2023, it was reported that Ubisoft is planning to increase the number of Assassin's Creed developers by 40%. During an earnings call, Chief Financial Officer Frederick Duguet said that around 2,000 developers are currently working on Assassin's Creed out of a total workforce of about 20,000. The number is therefore expected to rise to about 2,800 over the coming years, with the increased headcount achieved by reallocating people from other franchises, according to Guillemot. Now, that final bit right there is important. Reallocating people from other franchises.
Oh, yeah. They're taking resources from the other games. They're taking resources from my goddamn Splinter Cell. All right? Leave those dudes on Splinter Cell. Leave them. Leave them alone. God dang it. 3 dudes made BattleBit by themselves. And that game is wildly successful. All right? God dang. You need a couple thousand, upwards of 20K people to be working on all of them? What is happening?
There were early indications that this heavy shift towards mass-producing Assassin's Creed games was going to come at the cost of other IPs and general variety and creativity at Ubisoft suffering. And among the most prominent victims of this is none other than the Immortals series, which was formerly known as Gods and Monsters. According to Video Games Chronicle sources, Ubisoft has canceled its Immortals Phoenix Rising sequel, which to me honestly is a damn shame because I thought that Immortals was a really cool new IP and one of the most fun games that I had played that year. I thought that this franchise held a lot of potential, and I would have loved to see a sequel that expanded on this very solid foundation, but it looks like that's just not going to happen.
I never saw anything about Gods and Monsters or Immortal whatever. I just never heard anything about it, so I'm ignorant.
This is what Video Games Chronicle discovered, speaking to numerous sources. According to multiple development sources who told Video Games Chronicle anonymously the following information: a follow-up game to Immortals Phoenix Rising was in early development at Ubisoft Quebec, but the company leadership ultimately decided to cancel it earlier this month due to perceived challenges around establishing the IP. Now, if the name Ubisoft Quebec sounds familiar to you, that's because they are one of the major developers of Assassin's Creed games. They're the ones who made Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they're currently deep in the trenches working on a major upcoming Assassin's Creed release, Assassin's Creed Red. So it seemed as though this team was trying to work...
Bro, they are straight running out of names for Assassin's Creed. Bro, you know how, like, street names are just random words? Like, Oak Street, Sycamore Street. It's gonna be like they're gonna start coming up with like random ass names. They're just gonna look out their window or they're gonna look on Google Maps, see like what the street names are around it, and they're gonna be like, there's gonna be Assassin's Creed Purple, Assassin's Creed Gold, Assassin's Creed Diamond, Assassin's Creed Obsidian. You know, you have a laundry list of things that they can pull from that they can just copy paste
on both Immortals 2 and Assassin's Creed Red at the same time, but with Ubisoft shifting their focus more towards Assassin's Creed, it seemed as though working on both games became untenable, and given the choice between a newer IP, Immortals, and the more established Assassin's Creed, which makes Ubisoft a lot of money, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Ubisoft ultimately decided to axe Immortals over Assassin's Creed. But Immortals as a franchise had potential to grow, just as Assassin's Creed did when the first game released, and eventually that franchise grew over time to become what it is today. In fact, Ubisoft's intention was to grow Immortals into a major IP and franchise to explore different mythologies other than Greece with future games, which sounded like a really cool plan, a la God of War, which has explored Greek mythology and now Norse mythology, and who knows where it's headed next, but it's got that expansive open world, Breath of the Wild puzzle solving style gameplay and dungeon delving, and the combat was really fun too. It's just an IP that I just would have loved to see flourish, but Ubisoft prioritizing Assassin's Creed to the degree that they are, I feel like their newer IPs don't have room to incubate, to be nurtured into a major franchise that could do Assassin's Creed numbers. Immortals already did explore Chinese mythology with Immortals Phoenix Rising's DLC, and according to a scoop by Stephen Totillo from news outlet Axios, Immortals 2, based on what he heard, was going to focus on Polynesian gods, which I don't think is a mythology that has been explored all that much.
Surely, because I haven't heard really much of anything. I'm sure if I saw some pictures or something, I would try to figure it out. But like, I don't know jack shit about that.
So that could have been really fascinating. Going back to Video Games Chronicle, they report that future plans for Immortals were cast into doubt after the company decided to pivot towards its most prominent brands like Assassin's Creed. Again, this was hinted at back in May of 2023 when Yves Guillemot hinted at reallocating people to increase the number of developers working on Assassin's Creed from 2,000 to 2,800. And in a response that Ubisoft gave to Video Games Chronicle, they straight up said that they're reallocating some creative teams and resources within the Quebec studio, confirming without really saying it explicitly that Immortals 2 was killed off to make way for Assassin's Creed Red. As part of our global strategy, we are redirecting and reallocating some creative teams and resources within the Quebec studio to other unannounced projects. The expertise and technologies these teams developed will serve as an accelerator for the development of these key projects focused on our biggest brands. We have nothing further to share at this time. And what especially hurts for those who were looking forward to an Immortals sequel is that things were going well during the early stages of this game's development. The focus on Polynesian gods was promising and being handled well, according to Stephen Totilo, but it sounds like getting Assassin's Creed Red done is the priority at the Quebec City studio. Stephen Totilo further added that based on what he heard from the people he spoke to, the expectation from people I spoke to close to Ubisoft was that Red could use more people, as does Hex, as Ubisoft bets on Assassin's Creed for its future. The potential of the...
I mean, it is just a bet, you know? Who's ultimately gonna determine whether or not that bet pays off? The consumer, you know? Is Assassin's Creed gonna go down the same route as superhero movies in that there's just gonna be like an oversaturation of Assassin's Creed? I mean, because I kind of think it already is, or whatever. I haven't played like the most current AC. I don't know when the last one has been like released or whatever, or how long it's been out. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe people are still hungry for Assassin's Creed. You know, like remember that World of Warcraft chart where Blizzard would constantly flex their subscriber numbers and it would go up and up and up every expansion, and it peaked in like Wrath and Kata, and then a little bit after that it just started to go down and down. Do you think it's kind of like that with Assassin's Creed and all the titles or whatever? Like, is it going down? Is it flatlining? Like, what's going on?
Immortals IP is very much there if you look at the Metascore and how consistently it garnered positive reception from critics and users alike across numerous platforms: Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. It was far from perfect, but so was Assassin's Creed 1 until it was significantly refined in 2, and that's when the series began its meteoric rise. Immortals could have been something similar if it had been nurtured in a similar fashion instead of getting killed off because of this hyperfixation on Assassin's Creed.
And even if you were looking forward to Immortals 2, it's not like a completely abandoned thing where it's just like off the oven and into the garbage. Maybe it's just like on not the back burner, but like the back burner, you know, or the back burner. You know, it'll get done maybe in your lifetime, but not in the immediate future.
That, again, I feel like it's just killing a lot of variety and creativity at Ubisoft. This huge fixation on Assassin's Creed feels like a short-term solution to Ubisoft not being happy with some of their recent earnings reports. But in the long term, I feel like this is just going to cause people to feel Assassin's Creed burnout. I feel like it's going to devalue the IP in the long term. And with nothing else to fall back on because other IPs are being killed off, like Immortals, before they really have a chance to shine, you know, I just don't feel like this is necessarily the best strategy, especially when Ubisoft itself had expressed delight over the way Immortals Fenyx Rising was selling back in May of 2021, around the time the game came out. The publisher is happy with the game's performance, reports Comic Book, and there's a quote from one of Ubisoft's spokespeople, Frederic Duguet, Ubisoft's Chief Financial Officer. Immortals Fenyx Rising, our new IP, continues to see healthy sell-through as the game benefits from one of the highest community sentiments a Ubisoft game has ever had. This is directly from a Ubisoft executive. It has all it takes to become an evergreen title, especially on the Switch, where it continues to broaden Ubisoft audience reach. This was stated during an investors call where corporations tend to be more honest because their real customers are the investors. So to go from them touting just how much potential the Immortals IP has to now just straight up killing the sequel for Assassin's Creed, again, it's a damn shame as someone who would look forward to an Immortal sequel more than to an Assassin's Creed sequel, with again Mirage being the only thing that's like kind of starting to bring me back to Assassin's Creed. Not to discount the upcoming games, who knows, maybe Codename Hex and Codename Red will be really good entries that will reignite my passion for Assassin's Creed. But from Assassin's Creed going into a direction that's less appealing to me as someone who played Assassin's Creed games for the focus on the assassinations, on top of the fact that a lot of Ubisoft games tend to use very similar open world formulas to the point where they all
go here, open up the map, expose the area. All right. I haven't played any Assassin's Creed games recently, but like, go collect the feathers, go collect the bottles, go collect the map bits, go collect the coins, collect, you know, go do this mission over here. This is the one main mission, and you have this big map, and so on and so forth. And don't forget to collect all the loot and all the greens, the blues, the purples, and eventually the legendaries. And then I don't even know if they have like skill trees in that game. I think they do, or whatever. I don't know.
Kind of feel structurally the same, which can evoke the sense that Ubisoft games are a bit stale and kind of samey and can cause further burnout. It all contributes to me just not really being all that excited about Ubisoft games as I once used to be, which is why Immortals felt like such a refreshing new IP. Yes, it was open world, but it taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild and its focus on puzzle solving on top of combat that's sort of reminiscent of something like Devil May Cry. And then the focus on mythologies alongside the unique art style that was more vibrant and with more humor infused into it. It all just evokes something different than your typical Ubisoft affair. So I really would have liked to see where Ubisoft could have taken this IP and how they could have just, you know, taken the foundation to a whole new level with a sequel. And who knows how other IPs aside from Immortals, be it new IPs that were in development or existing IPs that were set to be revived, were negatively impacted by this decree to focus more on Assassin's Creed.
Give me my god dang Splinter Cell, brother. Revive Sam Fisher. All right.
And those big Ubisoft mega brands, as they called it, back in January of 2000.
Oh, what a word. What a buzzword. A mega brand. Flagship brand. Oh my God. This is completely invented by the industry themselves. It's not just a brand name or what was it? What was it before? Like a house name. It's a mega brand. Bro, they're probably going to come out with some corny shit like ultra brand, giga brand, like evergreen, super brand.
2023, when it was reported by Video Games Chronicle that Ubisoft has canceled 3 unannounced games. Here's a quote from the financial report that Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot provided back then. "We are clearly disappointed by our recent performance. We're facing contrasted market dynamics as the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and everlasting live games in the context of worsening economic conditions affecting..."
Okay, what? Facing contrasted market dynamics as the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and everlasting live games. Bro, the reason why it's shifting towards live games is because no AAA developers are investing in new IPs, and the few times that they did, in the case of Immortals, they just abandoned it. I don't know, maybe they said they were happy with all the profits or whatever, but I don't know, maybe not enough. In the context of worsening economic conditions affecting consumer spending. Oh, maybe it's because of the live everlasting games, but the live service are affecting the consumer. This is like circle speak. They literally solved their own shit in this single sentence. The worsening economic conditions affecting consumer spending. All right, what's happening? More and more developers are making AAA games in only one title and making it a live service game and just doubling, tripling down on the live service bullshit and microtransactions. So that's killing off any creative, investment that they would have in any new IPs. So you literally just solved your own riddle.
Consumer spending. Despite excellent ratings and players' reception, as well as an ambitious marketing plan, we were surprised by Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope underperformance in the final weeks of 2022 and early January. Just Dance 2023 underperformed as well. I mean, Ooh. Just Dance is this
Ooh. People don't feel like dancing anymore, Ubisoft. What you gonna do? They don't want to dance anymore.
Newly released franchise that it's all kind of the same year by year. It's not shocking to me that eventually it started to fall off. Now,
bro, if there's one like IP that would benefit completely from being a live service game, it would be the Just Dance IP. All right, you don't need to come out with a new Just Dance 2023. All right, just make it Just Dance forever, Just Dance Infinite. All right, Just Dance forever. All right, and then just make it so you like license out the like song packs or whatever. Like, oh, do you like this song from Joe Schmo Diddy Bop? Who whatever. We're gonna implement it in Just Dance Forever. All right, that's like the easiest layup that they could do. But no, we gotta come out with a new game and make it copy paste and like, come on now.
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, it's a shame that that game underperformed. Not exactly sure why that happened, whether it was the timing of its release or just the lack of marketing. But back to Yves Guillemot's quote, he said, "Therefore, with the approval of the board of directors, we are taking additional important strategic and operational decisions today. It is key to continue adapting our organization to further strengthen our execution and to ensure we both deliver amazing games to players as well as great value creation." I feel like this Ubisoft financial report from back in January of 2023 was the beginning of the company eventually concluding that they need to focus a lot more on Assassin's Creed. It was only 4 months later that it was reported that Ubisoft plans to increase the number of Assassin's Creed developers by 40% from roughly 2,000 to roughly 2,800 by reallocating people from other franchises. And as it was back in January of 2023, Ubisoft had already canceled 3 unannounced games, and that was just around January of 2023. If we go further back and look at the 6 months before January...
Motherfucker.
January of 2023, Kotaku reported here that Ubisoft has canceled at least 7 games in 6 months as of January 11th, 2023. And again, who knows if these were new IPs that were going to add variety and creativity to Ubisoft's library of franchises, IPs, and game releases, or if there were going to be new games from existing beloved IPs that have remained dormant for far too long. Whatever the case, Ubisoft feels that their recent financial standing and their recent earnings reports were disappointing enough that this is the shift that they have to make. They cannot take as many risks as they used to be able to on new IPs or games of other franchises that aren't as widely recognized as, say, Assassin's Creed. Now, that's not to say that Ubisoft is only releasing Assassin's Creed games from now on. In fact, here we have a...
No, it's not going to be from now on, but it's going to be for like the next couple years.
List of 10 games that Ubisoft is set to launch in the remainder of this.
Okay, Assassin's Creed, Avatar, Rainbow Six... Mobile, the Division Resurgence, Just Dance 24 edition. What? Okay, Prince of Persia, Skull and Bones, don't know. The Crew, Motorfest, X Defiant. Oh yeah, that was supposed to be like another good one, another shooter bro thing. Yeah, maybe. A mysterious large game may as well be Star Wars Outlaws, which was shown at Ubisoft. Oh yeah, this isn't the game I'm thinking of. Never mind. So maybe X Defiant, maybe Star Wars, and I don't know. I'm not really too interested in like anything else.
This fiscal year, in addition to one other large game assumed to be Star Wars Outlaws, which was announced recently through a Ubisoft Forward live stream. And beyond Assassin's Creed Mirage, they've got Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, Rainbow Six Mobile, The Division Resurgence, isn't that another mobile game? Just Dance 24 edition, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. So at least we're getting a new Prince of Persia, though this one is 2D side-scroller, a la like the very first Prince of Persia, which has some fans divided. Skull and Bones, which does not look particularly good and is more of an obligation for Ubisoft to get this out there because of a deal that they made with a government entity. We have The Crew Motorfest. I'm not big on racing games. And then X-Defiant, which is Ubisoft's take on a Call of Duty style experience, which
it's decent, young.
To its credit, has garnered positive impressions from people who have tried the game out. But indeed, they are leaning more on bigger brands and established IPs like Assassin's Creed, Avatar, Tom Clancy IPs like Rainbow Six, The Division. There's Just Dance, and there's Star Wars. And mobile games is one area where they're clearly just doubling down on based on the fact that there are 2 Assassin's Creed mobile games in development alongside Rainbow Six Mobile and The Division Resurgence. I still have to see more of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora and Star Wars Outlaws to really gauge how excited I am for these games. They do seem to hold potential, and Ubisoft Toronto is working on a Splinter Cell remake that was announced some time back. So there is some stuff to look forward to.
Oh, wow. An actual remake of Splinter Cell 1? Oh, maybe they're going to remake them all. Oh, that'd be really cool, but I only got a couple more years until I'm like a 40 or 50. Maybe it'll come out before then.
But it doesn't feel like Ubisoft is fully leveraging the creativity and talent within their teams to really come up with stuff that breaks the typical Ubisoft mold that a lot of their games seem to fit into. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora and Star Wars Outlaws, those are going to be open world games, and while they did make quite the impression, we don't know yet whether those games will feel like yet another Ubisoft-style open world game that are overstuffed with content, or whether, you know, they'll be just the right length and offer enough unique elements to stand out from the other Ubisoft titles. Also, whatever happened to Beyond Good and Evil 2, who knows? I mean, I don't even care at this point. That game's probably never going to come out.
Yeah.
But Immortals, that was one of the more exciting Ubisoft IPs for me. So to me, it's a bit of a shame to see it go down the way it did, all to pave the road for one of 6 Assassin's Creed games. And again, when you consider just how many games have been canceled other than Immortals, as reported by Video Games Chronicle and as reported by Kotaku, who knows how many exciting new projects, new games, new IPs we might have lost as a result of Ubisoft's higher-ups mismanagement and their tendency to make safe bets on money-making IPs like Assassin's Creed, to the point where it feels like people could burn out because the Assassin's Creed IP just doesn't know how to hit the brakes every once in a while. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't know how sustainable it is to focus so much on Assassin's Creed games and work on so many Assassin's Creed games at the same time. And at the very least, it just makes Assassin's Creed feel less special than
it's less special. It's oversaturated. I don't know.
It used to be, when it just feels like they're churning these out left and right. But that's just me. I'd like to see Ubisoft take bigger risks on other IPs, but alas, money talks. Assassin's Creed ultimately sells really well, makes a lot of money, so Ubisoft is going to make the most shallow corporate decision and just follow the money. So it's not surprising, but I suppose only time will tell how the future of Ubisoft and future Assassin's Creed releases will play out. In the meantime, though, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on this current situation with Ubisoft fixating more on Assassin's Creed and letting go of other IPs like Immortals that seem to hold a lot of potential. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
You go home.
God dang. Yeah, that's kind of sad to hear. He even put Immortals Phoenix Rising as the game. What a Chad. But yeah, I mean, if you like Assassin's Creed, it's Assassin's Creed season. It's the era of AC. If not, then there's a couple other games coming out or whatever, throughout the year. All that little list you mentioned, so it's not all doom and gloom, but for like the next couple years or foreseeable couple years, it's going to be a lot of AC. So buckle up and just prepare. But other than that, great video. Yong is baller. All right, so that's pretty much it. All right, take it easy, guys. See you later.